For most of us, a mirror is a simple tool, glass and silver, a way to check our face before we leave the house. But in the ancient world, mirrors were anything but ordinary. They were sacred, they were feared, and in some places, they were never meant for human eyes at all. This is the hidden history of mirrors in ancient spiritual practice, where a reflection meant revelation, and to gaze was to summon something beyond. Our story starts over 5,000 years ago in Mesopotamia, where polished obsidian wasn't just decoration. Priests used it during rituals, staring into its black surface to contact the divine. They believed the mirror was a doorway, a silent, still pool where gods could whisper and spirits could rise. It wasn't about vanity, it was about vision. In Egypt, mirrors weren't flat. They were round like the sun, often made of bronze or copper. The symbol of Hathor, goddess of beauty and fertility, was a mirror. But it wasn't beauty for beauty's sake. Mirrors were used in rites to reflect divine light, to banish evil, to cleanse the soul. In temple ceremonies, priests would use mirrors to channel the sun, god Ra, bouncing light deep into sacred chambers no sunlight could ever reach. Light, in their eyes, was not just physical, it was spiritual power. And the mirror was a weapon. In ancient China, mirrors carried inscriptions on their backs, tiny blessings etched into bronze. But their front faces were smooth and silent. Taoist monks believed mirrors could capture energy. Some wore mirrors as talismans. Others hung them above doorways to deflect demons. But there was a darker use too. Certain rituals used mirrors to trap spirits. They believed a mirror could hold a soul like a jar holds water. Breaking a mirror didn't just mean 7 years of bad luck. It meant unleashing something that should have stayed contained. Across the Pacific, the Maya used mirrors made of pyrite, bright, golden, and deadly sharp. These weren't decorative. Archaeologists have found them buried with high priests, placed over their hearts and foreheads. Why? Because the Maya believed these mirrors could show visions, glimpses of the future, messages from the gods. Ritualists would stare into them for hours in smoke-filled rooms, hoping to see beyond time into what they called the other world. Mirrors were not objects, they were instruments, and sometimes they were portals. But the most mysterious mirror practices didn't survive in grand temples or golden tombs. They survived in whispers, in shadows, in forbidden rites passed down in secret. In ancient Greece, catoptromancy, the art of divination using mirrors, was known only to a few. A bowl of water, a polished surface, and a question. That's all it took. The sick would be brought before the mirror. If their reflection appeared distorted, it meant death was near. If it shimmered, there was hope. To the untrained eye, it looked like superstition. But to those who practiced it, the mirror didn't lie. The Romans inherited this mirror magic and weaponized it. In the hands of Roman augurs, mirrors became tools of statecraft. Reflections weren't just personal, they were political. They were used in ceremonies to predict the outcome of wars, to choose leaders, and to justify conquest. But in the underground cults, the mystery religions that flourished in secret, mirrors took on a deeper role. In Mithraism, an initiatory religion practiced by Roman soldiers, initiates were shown their reflection as part of a rite. The idea was simple: to face yourself before facing the gods. It was said that some never returned from that moment, not because they died, but because they saw something they couldn't unsee. As Christianity rose, the church saw danger in mirrors, not because of vanity, but because of visibility, because mirrors showed too much. By the medieval era, mirror rituals were driven underground. Possession of a polished black mirror or any tool associated with scrying could mark you as a heretic, or worse, a witch. But the practices never died. They just adapted. In the Islamic Golden Age, scholars like Al-Kindi studied optics and the nature of reflection, blending science with mysticism. Mirrors were used to explore the inner self, the soul, the divine order behind physical form. In Sufi mysticism, the mirror became a metaphor for the heart. Polish the heart, and you reflect the divine. Let it corrode, and you forget who you truly are. In the temples of India, mirrors were sometimes used in rituals honoring deities like Kali or Shiva. Here, mirrors reflected not just the image of the worshipper, but the presence of the divine. A properly positioned mirror could symbolically double the space, making the small temple into an infinite one. A mirror in the right hands expanded reality. And then we arrive in Japan. In Shinto belief, one of the most sacred artifacts is a mirror, the Yata no Kagami. It's not just holy, it's one of the 3 imperial regalia of Japan. The story goes that Amaterasu, the sun goddess, once hid herself in a cave, plunging the world into darkness. The gods lured her out using a mirror, tricking her into stepping outside by showing her own light back to her. In this tradition, the mirror does not just reflect, it reveals. It brings truth, it brings light, and that's why it's sacred. But the esoteric sects of Buddhism in Japan took this further. They used bronze mirrors in rituals to reveal spirits, to test the purity of monks, and even to cast out possession. Some mirrors were inscribed with prayers so fine they could only be read when light hit them at the right angle. A hidden text revealed only through reflection. Now, here's the question. Were all these mirror rituals separate inventions? Or is there a hidden thread running through them all? Some historians argue that mirror-based spiritual practices evolved independently across cultures, but others suggest a quieter, more chilling possibility, that ancient people all tapped into the same underlying reality, that mirrors, no matter the continent, weren't just tools, but thresholds. Because at the heart of every mirror ritual is the same idea, that reflection is not passive, that something looks back. Think about that. Something looks back. Ancient practitioners weren't just using mirrors as metaphors or props. They believed, truly and deeply, that mirrors were alive in some way. Not with breath or blood, but with presence. That they could become inhabited. That by gazing into the mirror, especially during trance or ritual, you weren't just looking at your own face. You were inviting something else to arrive. In folk traditions across Eastern Europe, people covered mirrors after someone died, not just out of respect, but fear. They believed a soul still disoriented might get trapped in the mirror. Or worse, something else might crawl out. To this day, that custom survives in scattered villages. Mirrors are hidden during wakes, just in case. In African traditions, especially within the Yoruba religion and its diaspora offshoots like Santeria, mirrors are still considered spiritually active. Priests use them in altars. Some are wrapped in cloth when not in use, treated like living things. In rituals, mirrors act as channels to the Orishas, divine forces or deities that move between worlds. To the uninitiated, it may seem like superstition, but to those who know, it's science of a different kind. Even in the West, remnants remain. John Dee, Queen Elizabeth I's court magician, used a mirror carved from black obsidian to speak with angels. He called them Enochian beings, and he kept a meticulous record of everything they said. The mirror still exists. It's in the British Museum today, silent and polished. but the room it's kept in always feels colder, as if something in it remembers being used. There's a reason black mirrors, obsidian mirrors, have endured. Unlike glass, they don't reflect with clarity, they absorb. Practitioners of modern scrying, especially in occult circles, still prefer these dark surfaces. Why? Because in darkness, the mind is more open, more suggestible. The veil is thinner. When used properly, the mirror becomes a meditative trigger. The gaze softens, the breath slows, and thoughts begin to melt. Shadows shift, shapes appear, and then, if the practitioner is lucky or unlucky, something answers. But here's what they never tell you. Mirrors aren't neutral. They take something when you use them. A little attention, a little energy, sometimes more. That's why, in almost every ancient culture, mirror rituals came with rules. Never look into a mirror by candlelight alone, unless you've been trained. Never keep a mirror near your bed. Dreams leak. Never use a mirror that belonged to someone who died violently. Reflections can carry pain. And perhaps the most important one, always close the session. Always turn the mirror face down. Because once a doorway is opened, it doesn't always close by itself. Even now, science can't fully explain the psychological effects of mirror gazing. In 2010, Italian psychologist Giovanni Caputo conducted an experiment. He asked volunteers to stare into a mirror in a dimly lit room for 10 minutes. What they reported was unsettling. Their own faces began to warp. Some saw monstrous distortions. Others claimed they saw the faces of strangers, or even loved ones long gone. A few broke down crying, overcome by a feeling they couldn't describe. Caputo called it the strange face illusion. The scientific explanation pointed to neural adaptation, a kind of sensory fatigue where the brain fills in visual gaps. But even he admitted the results pointed to something deeper, something primal. Because deep down, humans have always sensed that mirrors aren't just physical. They are psychological, spiritual, maybe even existential. That's why they show up in myths again and again. Not as objects, but as tests. In the Greek myth of Narcissus, the young man falls in love with his reflection. It isn't just vanity. It's about the danger of becoming trapped in your own illusion, of mistaking the mirror for the world. In fairy tales, the mirror speaks. It judges. It reveals truth no one wants to say aloud. Think of Snow White's mirror. Who is the fairest of them all? The answer changes everything. In horror stories, mirrors are where the ghost appears, where the distortion begins, where reality bends. These stories didn't come from nowhere. They're echoes of ancient truths that modern minds try to forget, but not everyone forgets. In certain secret societies, mirrors are still used in initiation rites. Not publicly, not officially, but behind closed doors. The initiate is brought into a darkened room, given time to sit in front of a covered mirror. Then, the cloth is removed. They are told to look, not just at their face, but through it. To watch until something moves, until the mirror speaks. Some never see anything. Others never speak about what they saw. And for those who go deeper, those who train in these mirror practices over years, not minutes, there are reports of something else entirely. Not visions, not faces, but places, hallways, rooms, landscapes, as if the mirror becomes a map, or a memory, or a warning. The deeper truth is this: mirrors throughout history were not tools to see, they were tools to cross, to step out of your body, out of your moment, and into something larger. Whether it's divine revelation, ancestral memory, spiritual confrontation, or cosmic insight, Mirrors were never about the reflection. They were about what lies beyond it. And every culture that used them knew that once you crossed that line, you didn't come back quite the same. So what are we left with? Fragments. Bronze discs buried in tombs. Obsidian slabs locked in museum glass. Ritual instructions half erased in old grimoires. Stories whispered by grandmothers who never look in mirrors after dark. Science dismisses them. Popular culture twists them. But the echoes persist. In every haunted house legend, in every ritual dare, in every warning not to say a name in the mirror 3 times, we find traces of ancient fear and ancient respect. Because mirrors weren't made for games, they were made for work. Deep, dangerous work. The kind of work that strips you down and shows you what's hiding behind the eyes. Ask a seasoned occultist and they'll tell you the mirror doesn't lie, but it doesn't tell the whole truth either. It shows you what you're ready to see, and sometimes what you've tried your whole life to avoid. It's no accident that many of the world's spiritual traditions involve a moment of confrontation, a point where the seeker must stand alone. No noise, no guidance, just stillness, just silence, just the mirror. In those moments, it's not about seeing something else. It's about recognizing that something else has always been there, with you, inside you, watching you. And the mirror, it just gives it a face. Modern life has dulled our sense for symbols. We check ourselves in glass without a second thought. But the ancients knew better. They treated mirrors with care, with reverence, with fear. And maybe, in a world overflowing with reflection, on screens, in lenses, in windows, we've forgotten what they knew. That seeing your own face is one of the most powerful things a human can do. That sometimes, when you look deeply enough, you are no longer the one looking. This reversal, the sense that the gaze is returned, is at the heart of why mirrors were once so feared and revered. Because if something can see you through a mirror, what else can it do? Can it follow? Can it influence? Can it change you? Ancient texts didn't pose these questions as metaphor. They treated them as fact. In Tibetan Buddhism, there's a ritual called the mirror of karma. It's not about vanity or even divination. It's about seeing the residue of your past actions reflected back at you without illusion, without escape. Monks train for decades to face it because the reflection shown isn't physical. It's moral, ethical, energetic, and it judges. Shamans in the Amazon sometimes use reflective surfaces, still water, polished stone, dark glass, to locate a sickness in the body or the soul. They don't look at the person directly. They look at the reflection. Because in the mirror, the truth isn't filtered by ego or words. The spirit reveals itself. Again and again, across cultures, the same idea returns. Mirrors strip away illusion, but not just the illusions we tell the world, the ones we tell ourselves. That's why some modern mystics call mirror work a ritual of reckoning. It's simple on the surface. Sit in front of a mirror, stare into your eyes, breathe, wait. But after a few minutes, the layers start to peel away. Micro-expressions, flickers, shifts in perception. You might see your face age, or change, or become someone else entirely. That's when people either lean in or pull away. Because at some point, you realize you're not just seeing yourself, you're seeing the self beneath the surface. The one that carries your fear, your memory, your shadow. The one that watches you when you lie. The one that never looks away. And the ancients? They didn't run from that moment. They built whole systems around it. Not to scare, not to trick, but to teach. They knew the mirror could be your greatest teacher, or your last test. That's why mirror rituals were reserved for the initiates, the brave, the desperate, the dying, the chosen. Because to look into a mirror and truly see means the old version of you must die, and something else, something honest, takes its place. So where does that leave us today? In a world obsessed with reflections, selfies, filters, image. We're surrounded by mirrors, but they're not the kind the ancients used. Ours are shallow, lit by pixels, designed to flatter, not to challenge. The spiritual mirror, the true mirror, is different. It doesn't care what you look like. It doesn't care what you post. It cares what you hide. And that's why these ancient practices, though buried, are starting to resurface. Modern mystics, psychologists, even trauma therapists are rediscovering mirror work, not as superstition, but as a tool, a way to confront the unconscious, a way to meet the self you avoid. Some use black mirrors, just like the priests and seers did. Others use water. Some close their eyes entirely and imagine the mirror in the mind, a symbol of internal truth, sharper than glass. But regardless of the surface, the work remains the same. To see clearly, without flinching, to invite the unknown, and to listen. Because here's the real secret of mirrors in spiritual practice. It's not about the mirror at all. It's about your willingness to enter the moment, to ask a question and wait, not for an answer from outside, but for one that rises up, unfiltered and raw. It might come in an image, a word, a flicker of emotion, a face that isn't yours, or silence. But the act of looking, that ritual of stillness and surrender, is powerful enough to change you. That's why so many ancient initiations involved mirrors, not as decoration, not as magic tricks, but as spiritual fire. A test you didn't pass by seeing something spectacular, but by staying, by not looking away, by letting the mirror show you what the world cannot, and by accepting, in that quiet moment, the truth that scared even the strongest priests, that what lies on the other side of the mirror was never just a reflection. It was you, all along. So the next time you pass by a mirror, ask yourself, what are you really seeing? Just your face? Or a doorway? The ancients believed every mirror held a secret. Maybe the real question is, are you ready to find out yours? If this story resonated with you, share it with someone curious, someone searching, someone brave enough to look deeper. And if you're ready to explore more forgotten knowledge, more hidden rituals, and the ancient tools that still shape us today, subscribe, turn on notifications, and join us for the next journey. Until then, be careful what you ask your reflection. It just might answer.